So, what is latent learning? Some psychologists use the term to describe what has happened in the past, but it's often described as a type of learning that does not immediately present itself, but can be called upon when useful. In other words, when a reward or reinforcement is involved, that latent learning becomes visible to us. You can remember this term by thinking of how the word latent generally means hidden or underlying. The theory holds the rat has learned the maze through his wanderings, but we can only see evidence of this underlying knowledge once he has drawn upon that experience to get something he wants. So, latent learning is a form of learning that appears only when we see reinforcement or associations of the behavior are made with a gift or a motivation in return. A psychologist that really aided and allowed for this idea to grow was Tolman, as he argued that humans engage in this type of learning every single day as we go through our daily routines with motives, and this learning only appears when we need it. For example, when we're walking around and looking for a building, this learning becomes obvious. He conducted multiple experiments with rats in specific, and he put them in mazes to see and examine and observe how this reinforcement plays in ways where the rats would learn specific paths in order to get to a prize, which was food. So, to make this more clear and in a visual way, just imagine and think about you yourself being in a maze. Now, what Tolman did exactly was that he wanted to demonstrate that rats could make navigational decisions based on knowledge of the environment, which is the maze, rather than directional choices, simply because of the effect of a reward or a future, which would be their future motivation. He had three study groups of rats, and at the end of the maze, there was a food box. Um, some groups of rats got to eat the food, some did not, and he wanted to look at the the way that the groups that had the food acted as opposed to ones that didn't. So one group from the three that were placed in the maze were placed without any food box or any reward or any gift or any motive. So the rats kept on searching and going through dead ends, and they had nothing to eat. It's the same maze you've been in several times before, and you wander around, you make your way around different paths, but this time something's different. As you go on different paths and you find your way around, you find a food box, food, and there's never been food there before. So now you have a motive, and you're motivated. So the next time you enter the maze, you're more efficient with finding your way to the end, and you avoid dead ends with greater efficiency. As days go by, you get better and better, and your efficiency is better. What's strange is that you are just as good at this process, if not better, than the rats who have been receiving food since their first day in life. One would think you'd be behind in your learning, as you're not able to navigate the maze since you didn't have an initial reason to get good at it, which is in this case the food. The first few days of the experiment, there was nothing to send you searching for at the end of the maze with the same urgency as a rat who knew he'd get a tasty treat when first. Another example would be, for example, if we're human and we're at school and we're learning about diabetes in biology class, and we know that there won't be a test since final exams are done and there aren't any grades, and there is no more, and I have no motivation to learn since I'm already thinking about summer and there aren't any grades. But when the teacher asks the class to respond to questions, I raise my hand. Now, imagining I have a close family member who has just been diagnosed with diabetes, and I'm very worried about it, and I'm trying to learn more about what's going on in their body. Now I have a motive to help that person. And I offer to tell them what I've been learning in biology class and tell them facts, information about the disease, knowing that I'm helping. And um, now I have a motive to learn. After reading generally about the topic, I decided to look more in depth into other articles where experiments were made on humans, on rats, and were also observed in ants. I was really surprised to see how, for me, I had a kind of a stereotype towards this topic, and I thought it was only specific to rats due to the heavy coverage on it with the maze and Tolman's experiment. But I was surprised to see, as I read more and researched, that this is a learning. This is a type of learning that's found in every type of species